you see, I discovered at a young age that I had a natural talent and passion for fucking people up. And it made me feel good to do it, so I did it. I still remember when I threw my first right hook. Oh, yeah. One of the house handmaidens tried to force me into a dress when I was young. She really wouldn't take no for an answer, so I gave her a 3-piece and a soda right to the baby maker. Didn't hear much about dress code policies after that incident. And pissing off my parents was a pretty sweet bonus. Plus, elite warriors that actively seek death-defying combat situations tend to be pretty fucking good at drinking and fucking, so it was a great way to meet people with mutual interests. Now that I'm part of the crew, I just want to make sure you know to keep your filthy fucking drugs away from me. I don't poison my body with that narco shit. Got it?
But you're a raging alcoholic.
So? Drinking isn't bad for you. Everyone knows our K-Gons completely filter out the bad stuff. Wait, do you guys not have those?
What the hell is a K-Gon?
Are you telling me that you goddamn solars willingly and constantly put shit into your bodies on a daily basis, despite knowing full well it will kill you? And all this just to get fucked up? I gotta ask, are you guys brain dead? You know, like maybe all the solars that aren't mentally defective got left on the other side of that wormhole? I just refuse to believe your species actually achieved spaceflight being that fucking stupid.
We Solars have a saying. All work and no play makes Jack a dull cunt.
Wow. I don't know whether to deeply respect that or treat you like a little kid that just said something so monumentally dense that I immediately feel the need to slap the stupid out of them. You know how torgies were outlawed on my planet? You're looking at the #1 organizer of bi-weekly underground illegitimate fuckfests on Titacania. And I spared no expense. I put my family's cash to good use by filling the entire room with the hardest cocks and the biggest titties I could find. All so they could defile Daddy's little girl one after another. Not to mention, we had the finest beer on tap all throughout the events. I mean, seriously? Who actually fucks sober? Weak.
Where do you get that thunder cunt of a hammer?
Let me regale you with one of our most awesome Teely legends. Why don't you pull up a seat for this one, Cap? Once upon a time, a kick-ass Teely warrior king named Schrodin dared to forge the greatest fucking melee weapon of all time. Every corner of the galaxy was scoured to find the elusive materials his royal alchemists would need to craft it. They eventually discovered a planet teeming with wondrous beasts. These beasts had all evolved with the power to manipulate the elements themselves. It was there they finally stumbled upon the method needed to transmute a near-indestructible alloy called adamanticum. For the first and most important step, you needed to get one of these beasts, the metal-skinned Bulbasaur, to shoot a hot load directly into the anal cavity of the flaming Quivolva. This noble task had to be done manually. 4 of the alchemists had to jerk off the Bulbasaur with a giant hand-operated pulley system, while 2 others insulated themselves inside the dirt box of the Quivolva, at the ready with hammer and anvil to shape the molten load into its final form. After much pounding and hammering and no few lives lost, they had the alloy, crystallized in the depths of the beast. The next step was supercharging the hammer. Nothing more potent or pure existed than the power they could get from a Dikachu, a beast that ate lightning and jizzed thunder. The tricky part was getting just the right level of power. too much, like the level released during a pop shot, and the weapon would go flying off in random directions at massive speeds, taking the heads off whatever sorry bastards were in the way. Too little, like the levels you get during a Dikachu fart, and the weapon wouldn't even activate. Naturally, they started to think outside the box. Or should I say, inside the box? They used the handle like a mighty dildo, plunging it deep into a welcoming female's pussy and pulling it all the way out before going back in again to induce the perfect conditions for the catalyst. Eventually, the Dikachu's juice wallet discharged a mighty queef that reverberated through the hammer, fully unlocking its true potential and electrocuting everyone within 100-yard radius. After years of research and the deaths of almost 100 of the king's men, Mjolnir was finished at long last. After Skroden passed away, it remained in the vault of our grand palace until I, the greatest Teely warrior of all time, claimed it as my own.
If you had to choose between drinking, fighting, and fucking, which would you say is your most skilled art?
Wow, Cap with the hard-hitting questions today. Fuck, I never actually thought about that. But my instincts say to go with the booze.
Any particular reason?
Easy. I've been doing it the longest, and there ain't a man, woman, or any sentient organism in between anywhere in Prodigium that's been able to outdrink this champ. I've been bested in sparring a few times here and there, especially since I started going a few rounds with the girls on the Mary Celeste. These are some bad bitches, man. Seriously, mad respect for getting this team together. To be fair, I can't remember my first time, but I do recall needing to grab a chair to raid the royal liquor cabinet and playing whiskey party with my dolls.
Sounds like we both started a bit younger than we should have.
I mostly started because my parents told me not to, but then I kept going so I could numb the lack of a sense of belonging, which spawned a horrifying existential crisis that's still eating away at my soul as we speak.
I'm pretty much the same way, but mine is more centered around massive regrets so painful that they keep me up at night and a crippling lack of self-worth.
Oh, Cap, that's pretty normal stuff, really.
Drinking was basically a way of life for us at New Vegas. I mean, good luck moving up in the military and not being able to handle your liquor.
You guys actually gave out promotions based on who was the bigger alcoholic? Maybe I do have more in common with you weirdos than I originally thought.
Too true. Fuck. I remember getting so drunk one time I thought I was going to die. No, wait. I remember now. I did actually almost die. That was a shit time.
Whoa, back up. What the hell did you drink that almost killed you?
I'd rather not get into it. It's a painful memory.
Aw, come on, Cap! You can't just tease me a story of nearly fatal intoxication and then whip out like that! I'm gonna find out whether you like it or not, mister.
Tell me about your first fight in the TFC.
Fuck me, that was a wild one. They paired me up against this super cocky Ord, dual-wielding blasters that actually thought he was a badass for some reason. I mean, for fuck's sake, dude. He wore a jetpack and a dick-shaped helmet with a totally impractical visor!
Seriously? That shit is so played out. What a wanker.
This guy takes one good look at me and thinks this is gonna be the easiest fight of his life. But then I fire up Mjolnir here and deflect his entire barrage. Even with that ridiculous bucket on his head, I could tell how scared he was. So now this taint thumper is rocketing all around the damn arena trying to reload while my tiny hungover Teely ass is chasing him with my hammer and screaming my head off about how I'm gonna murder him. Finally, he fumbles a clip midair and tries to grab it before it drops. But since he wasn't paying attention, he just winds up crashing full fucking speed into a wall. He was so concussed when he got up that he just started blasting in every direction and actually ended up shooting himself in the fucking head.
Wow. Does that even count as a W for you?
A win's a win. What about your first combat mission, Cap? No way in hell that went perfectly according to plan, right?
Oh, fuck. I try to forget that one. My squad was sent to stop some dickhead pirates from raiding New Vegas' biggest moonshine farm. It was the backbone of our booze supply, so the place was basically sacred. I shot down 6 of them all by myself right at the start of the fight. It was bloody brilliant. My mates were cheering me on and I was feeling fucking amazing. After that, their flagship tried to retreat. Our superior told us not to engage, but my battle stiffy was at full mast. I mean, if I took down a pirate captain, that would have made me a legend. So, I chased down that flagship and smashed it to pieces.
How is that bad exactly?
They ordered us back because the ship was directly over the moonshine farm. When I shot it down, it crashed right into the fucking place and blew it all to hell.
And you were trying to shit on my victory? What a joke!
Yeah, I know.
By the way, about that moonshine place, I heard the most interesting rumor once about a certain solar alcoholic beverage that was so deadly they had to outlaw it. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
What? Nah, that's just some made-up malarkey.
Huh, really? I guess I'll just have to give up on it then.
You know, we never really talked about our past relationships at all.
Yeah, not much to talk about there. I usually dated TFC competitors, and those guys don't exactly have a good sense of commitment. They either left after a few matches or got wasted. In the mortal sense, of course. Basically just too crazy for things to really last.
You ever tried dating a regular bloke?
Yeah, sure I did, Cap. But they always complained that I wasn't, I don't know, emotionally open or some bullshit like that. They always wanted me and us to work on our problems together. So yeah, there were some chivalrous guys, but it always ended the same way. You kinda just have to take it or leave it with me, and they always just chose to leave it. I gotta say though, Captain, it's funny, but you're just the right mix of crazy and chivalrous combined with a positively wonderful dick and a taste for the intoxicated life that makes this a pretty fantastic arrangement for me.
I feel the same way. You know, before I met you, there'd be times that I'd feel terrible about using my high-functioning status as an excuse to indulge in my various addictions. But now I've got codependence to blame for my irresponsibility, so that's an absolute win in my book.
Ah, so endearing yet so sad when you think about how we'll never better ourselves. Ah well, fuck it. I'm having a good time with you, Cap.
Same here. I'm loving every minute of this downward spiral of self-abuse with you.
Thanks, Captain. Oh, by the way, I think I remember the name of that outlawed solar alcohol I was asking you about. Rusty Rim's Cornhole Moonshine. You sure you've never heard of it? A guy like you... I don't know, I thought that would immediately ring some bells.
A rusty what now? Sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
Huh, I see. I guess it's possible I was mistaken. Well, this was a nice chat, but I've got to hit the pads for a bit. Talk to you later.